Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ray, and welcome to Asian Films. And we're here to talk about the 2018 Japanese film Tonight at the Movies, directed by Takeuchi Hideki and starring Ayase, Haruka, and Sakaguchi Kentaro. And I gotta say, this movie came out around Valentine's Day earlier this year, 2018, and I ultimately skipped it just because I don't usually like to watch romantic movies in the theater because I feel like they get pretty repetitive after a while, and it's just not the kind of type of movies that I would be willing to spend my money on. But after watching this, long story short, I kind of regret not watching in the theaters. I had a genuinely pleasant experience watching this movie. So it was a total surprise for me. I mean, I think this movie got a lot of hype. The concept was pretty cool, but I ended up just renting the DVD when it came out. The story of Tonight at the Movies, it's about this aspiring movie director by the name of Kenji, played by Sakaguchi Kentaro. And he is in love with Princess Miyuki, who is this character in this old black and white movie that's cheesy as all hell, but it's quite fun to watch, I gotta say. But he's totally in love with this character, and very often he rents out this whole entire theater just so he can watch Princess Miyuki's movie. But one night, while he's renting out the movie theater watching Princess Miyuki's movie, lightning strikes the movie theater, and it basically does what any kind of fantasy romantic movie would expect, and is that Princess Miyuki just jumps out of the movie screen, and she comes to real life, and she's still in black and white form when she meets Kenji. But it's from that point on that we see the start of the relationship between Kenji and Princess Miyuki in the real world. So as far as the positives of Tonight at the Movies, I generally like the style of romantic story that this is. It's kind of an old-fashioned take, similar to the kind you would see in the era of movies that Princess Miyuki comes from. They kind of keep that same tone, that same style throughout the entire movie. So that means it's an old-fashioned style of story. It's simple, pure, full of innocence and naivety, and just I think that's where most of the charm comes from. And I genuinely like the characters. You have Kenji, he's kind of the naive romantic. Then you have Princess Miyuki, who's kind of the tomboy, the sassy girl in the story. She kind of reminds me a lot of the girl in My Sassy Girl in this whole entire story, in that she's just kind of not a bitch per se, but yeah, she kind of is. And I think that's definitely where the source of their chemistry lies. You have Princess Miyuki bossing around Kenji, like calling him her servant, and he's just trying to make sure that she's doing okay while trying not to be her servant. And usually I'm not a fan of the kind of characters Ayase Haruka plays. I don't know, she kind of plays, how would you say, the oblivious cute girl in a lot of her movies, and she kind of has a little bit of that in this movie. But I thought for some reason I dug this character that she did. But I gotta say, the show stealer in this movie is Kitamura Kazuki. I think whenever he's on screen, I usually default him as being the villain, or a villain posing as a good guy who's going to be revealed to be the villain later. But I feel like this year has been a year where Kitamura Kazuki has just been having a lot of fun with his roles. If you've seen $1 Million Man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But he plays kind of a very famous hot actor, who basks in his popularity, but at the same time he's not arrogant, although he seems arrogant, but he's very flamboyant and show-offy. But at the same time, he's not a villain at all, but he just has a lot of fun with his role, and every time he was on screen, I was entertained 100%. And the music was pretty cool. It was kind of reminiscent of movies, of old black and white movies. It had a very orchestrated soundtrack, and it definitely kept the tone and the feel of being an old-fashioned kind of love story. And I dig the progression that the relationship goes between Kenji and Miyuki. And like I said, everything is kind of old-fashioned, very simple, and very innocent. And you get at the start, they start off very rocky. She's bossing him around, he's having none of it, and they kind of they butt heads here and there, but he cares much about Miyuki just because he's in love with the character. And then it gets to a point where you think that something's going to explode between these two, but then you find out that Miyuki is just totally a tsundere, and she just has this she has a reason why she just keeps keeps bossing Kenji around. And it's simple, like I said, and I don't think there's anything too complicated about any of the characters here. It's just simple and just pure entertainment. And if you're down for that kind of story, this movie has a whole lot to fall in love with. But that being said, the only negative I have to say about this movie is, how can I say it? It's like the monkey wrench in the relationship between Kenji and Miyuki. There's something that's holding them two back back from fully experiencing a full developed romance. I won't say exactly what it is, but there's something that's preventing them from diving straight into it. And I don't know, I guess it's very simple and it's very old-fashioned. I guess it keeps it's consistent with the type of movie, the story that this is trying to go with. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know, I thought it was a kind of a letdown just because of how too simple it was. But you know, I guess I'm kind of half and half about it. Although I understand that though it's simple, it's supposed to be the source of the tension and the drama, and also the source of their determination. But at the same time, I think they could have used something else. But overall, what do I have to say about Tonight at the Movies? It was definitely a lot better than I was expecting. Like I said, I don't watch romantic movies in the theaters nowadays because I feel they usually fall into one of two camps. One, the romantic stories adapted from girls' mangas, and also the romantic stories that are clearly meant for adult or older audiences. I felt this was perfectly in the middle, that can cater well to both camps. And I definitely got a vibe from not only My Sassy Girl, as I mentioned earlier, but also stuff like Titanic. You know, especially the way the ending played out, it was very much like Titanic, and not just the period and the costumes of the story, but just the overall feel and the type of romance. And in addition to the romance, you also get a little bit of fun, similar to Last Action Hero. You remember when the kid jumps into the movie screen to meet with Arnold Schwarzenegger? It's kind of the opposite here, but you get that same kind of comedic, that kind of comedy where here's this character. She's clearly out of place. She's clearly a fish out of water, and she's interacting with this other world that she's never been a part of, and you get the kind of awkwardness and fun and entertaining interactions that comes from that. I definitely recommend watching this movie, especially if you're a fan of old-fashioned. I keep using the word old-fashioned, but that's what it is. These kinds of old-fashioned and simple types of stories. I think it's definitely easy to fall in love with. But yes, those are my thoughts on Tonight at the Movies. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you really dig my content, please know you can support Asian Films via Patreon from as little as $1. And yeah, that's about it for me, guys. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you all again in the next video. Take it easy.